Merry meetle. So I'm making my first hex granny square cardie, or granny square cluster, because a hexagon isn't a square, is it? Anyway, and I've seen quite a few goes at this. Hang on, I just want to untangle some garn which is in a sleeve. Or is it? Don't think it is. No. Anyway, so I've seen quite a few creators, content creators, doing their version, different, color schemes and that sort of thing, and definitely want to, am inspired by some of the color choices I want to make for myself. However, the one thing I don't like about the granny square, the hex cardie, is that when you make it to be a boxy width around your torso, so you want like a bomber style boxy width jacket, if you're going to do it that wide, your sleeves become ridiculous. So basically the ratio of the width of the sleeve is the same as half the width of your torso. So as you can imagine, your arms, my forearm here, it's a lot more narrower than your torso, isn't it? Well, you'd hope, because you need to have another sandwich if it's that bad. So the way I'm going to go about this is, what I've done to counteract this, I've also decided to make a hoodie on mine, this first one I've made, which I will do a separate post on, because I'm going to play around and shape the hood. I don't just want to granny square clusters up and down in lines and then that's it. I want a nice long point at the back of my granny square hood. Not point, I just want that shaping coming out the back a little bit. So I'll do a separate vlog on that once I've done the hood. But so what I've done is this is using a 5mm hook, crochet hook, and this is a medium weight garn. Be about, it's a 4.5 to 5 is recommended in your gauge of the yarn. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Hang on, can't count today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I've done 18 rounds of the hexagon granny square. When I do this coat again in a different colorway, I will do a recording on how to do the hex square for your hex cardie. But for now, this is my first go and I wanted shaping. So I've done 18 rounds on the granny, and I've used a 3 double crochet, 1 chain space, and in the corners I did a 2 chain space of each of the corners of the hex. So then what I did was I actually worked the wrong side facing and did a cluster of 3 double crochets, joining the back part of the hex to the front part to create the top of the sleeve, and I went all the way down. So the sleeve top has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, and the join has made one of those, so it's four lines plus 1 join, making 5. I only do 2 lines of navy opposed to doing the 4 lines I did in cream, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines I did in mustard, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines or rounds I did in the blush pink. I left the edging of the sleeve till last, well, before the hood anyway, and also the hem on the bottom. So I joined the top of the sleeves. I then carried on and continued from the top and carried on doing 3 rows, sorry, no, 1 row of navy, because I already had 2 rows of navy there, remember, because I did 18 rounds or lines of the hex. So I only did 1 more round of the navy, which made three lines or rounds. At that point I decided to leave the rest of the borders till after, and the borders I did were 2 blush, 2 gold, 2 cream, and 2 navy, with a slip stitch on the edging to give it a nice solid edge. So anyway, back to the hex. So at this point we had 2 rounds of navy, and we had the top of the sleeves done and the edge of the sleeve done. Then what I did is I did 2 1 2 1 2, yeah, what am I looking at here, 1 2 3 4 5. Then at this point what I did was I had 2 rounds at the edge at the front here. I then did 1 2 3, sorry, no, I did 2 more rounds of navy up to the top, but I didn't continue going round. I actually created a bit of a collar which was separate to the back, and I did I did 3 rounds of that, and then no, hang on, 2, sorry guys, 2 plus, yeah, I did 2 rounds of that, and I did it on the other side. And then I also, before continuing doing any more edging at the front, I went and did a single chain stitch with the work turned inside out to join the back 2 seams together. Then on the other side, or we're looking now at the right side, I did 2 more rounds or rows of navy, which then made 4 on the other side. Then I did 1 round of 3 double crochet clusters from the bottom edge all the way up to around the neck to the other corner and then down. And in the corner I still maintained that edge by doing a 3 double crochet, 2 chain space, 3 double crochet in the corner and then coming down. And then that totaled 1 2 3 4 5 rows of navy at the front, and then at the back we have got 1 2 3 4 8 rows of navy when you combine the 2 pieces together and the single chain stitch join, and that was done inside out, so I didn't have this seam sticking outside. Now when I got down to the final round, to the hem of the hex granny square, as you can see, I've got something frying on the frying pan, sorry guys. I've got 3 rows, but as you know I had 2 rows in navy as part of those first 18 rounds of the hex square. And what I did is once I got to the corner there, I then continued doing a round of 3 double crochet, 1 chain space cluster all the way around to the back, all the way around to the other side, which then gave me 3 rows of navy. Then I continued doing a hem of 2 rows of blush, 2 rows of mustard, 2 rows of cream, 2 rows of navy, and then I did a slip stitch on the edge. Now I was going to do a slip stitch all the way at the front as well, however I want to do the hood first. Once I've done the hood, I'm actually going to do a slip stitch all around the hood, all around the edge, and all around the bottom of the hemline as well. So that is my gigantus, well, hex coat. Now I want it to be like wearing a blanket. I want to do a DK lightweighted one as well. The other note as well, I worked mostly on the right side in this, so I had all the stitching of the granny squares pretty much facing right side. In the next post of this hex coat or hex granny square coat, I will actually let you know what I've done with the hood, and it will be complete then too. But anyway, this is my little take on the hex granny square coat. You know, I don't want my sleeves the size of my torso, especially given I want a nice boxy, wide in width coat that if I have a jumper on I could put over the top, you know, and not feel weird, like the fronts of the coat won't overlap each other. And I also like to overlap one side over the other and tie things at the waist. So when I've finished with the next part, which will be the hood, the slip stitch edging, and then a couple of little details that I like to put on my coats, which just makes life so much easier, I will do a part 2 of my first hex coat project, and which is basically shaped. It's a variation of doing the hex. I'll write what I've mentioned in the actual description, okay? Some of us like to see it written down somewhere, just very roughly. And also I'm doing a heart market bag as well to go with it, but I want to finish the hood first, and I'll finish that bag off today. Blessed be Mary Part. And if you've never done a hex granny coat, it's fun, it's cozy, especially in a medium weight garn. I thought I would share my variation, my take, which has shaping in it, because I don't want sleeves. Kimono sleeves are cute, but you know, it gets to a point where it's ridiculous. Yeah. Blessed be and Mary Part.